We have some more examples of just how bad things are for Marvel. I don't know what they're going to do. I don't think that this X-Men 97 show is going to do as well as they think it is. And you have Deadpool 3, which I think will do okay, but even so, that movie is the real test because it looks like a good movie. But what if people don't show up for it anyway? It could happen. I don't think it will. I think that movie's going to be a success, and I think it's honestly probably going to be one of the last good products we get. I'm not hyped about Fantastic Four at all. That looks like a disaster as well. But we have another disaster here that we can finally talk about because we now have Nielsen numbers for Echo. Remember this show? Probably not. You probably didn't watch it. Most people didn't. But we can compare it to the other shows, and it's a disaster. Just like the rest of those Disney Plus disasters, this one is one of the worst. And I think they knew it was bad because that's why they dropped all the episodes at once. The only time they've ever done that, and the last time they'll ever do that, X-Men 97, I guarantee you, we have to wait a week for every episode. So there's a reason they dropped all of this at once. They wanted to get it out there, and then people would stop talking about it. I cannot wait until the Disney shareholders get to vote on who's going to sit on the board after all of this shit comes out. How they're going to vote, it'll be interesting to see. Disney is very, very scared of that vote. I already did a video on that. Check it out. They have a whole website called Vote Disney. And it looks desperate. It smells and reeks of desperation. But anyway, from Cosmic Book News, Echo bombs on Disney Plus. Worst MCU ratings. All 5 episodes were released at one time on both Disney Plus and Hulu. And that is important. So they didn't just put this on Disney Plus. It went to both platforms, which I think is the first time they've done that. And even with those combined numbers, this show died. I couldn't finish this series. I watched 2 episodes of it and was done. It just really takes you out of it. The whole half the time people talk, half the time you've got to read subtitles because of the signing. It just doesn't work. This is a total product of ESG DEI, and it shows. I can't believe some people are calling this great. Like, what the hell were you watching? Marvel's Echo turns out to be another big MCU bomb as Disney Plus, on Disney Plus as the 5-episode series, looks to have even worse ratings than Miss Marvel. Don't forget, Miss Marvel was a disaster. Nobody watched that show either. And, you know, this is why I like the actress that plays her. Never once did she come out and attack people and say, oh, yeah, a bunch of bigots, they didn't watch my show. She's like, well, that's Bob Iger's problem. I just did my job. That's a great response. I like her. I would be willing to give that character a chance if she was in other movies, just because the actress that plays her is, I think she is a real fan. Dakota Johnson also has really good responses to questions. If you go watch the interviews that she's done, in case you don't know who that is, that's the actress from Madam Web. The Madam Web movie is garbage, but I like Dakota Johnson because she seems pretty down to earth. Marvel dropped all the Echo episodes at one time on the Disney Plus and Hulu streaming services, so while it is kind of hard to compare ratings to the other shows that dropped weekly episodes, we can simply compare averages. It's probably safe to say those bottom-of-the-barrel MCU fans that turned in to watch Echo Episode 1 continue to binge watch through the last episode, so again, taking the average per episode works out. And then there it is right there. Combined, Disney, Hulu, bottom of the list. Takes a while for these to get out. That's why we're just now seeing this. But there it is, the week of January 8th through the 14th. All the way at the bottom, it made the top 10. But it made the top 10 because they put all of the episodes out at once. That's why shows like Grey's Anatomy are on there. because people are watching 421 episodes. And yeah, a bunch of people for sure tuned in to Echo, but not enough. Not enough. Imagine if this had been a good show that people were hyped about. Those numbers would have been huge. But Marvel doesn't do that. They want to grab characters for DEI purposes that no one honestly gives a shit about instead of giving people what they actually want. It's not a country. It's not a company that runs on profit, and that's the problem with Disney. Released on both Disney Plus and Hulu, Nielsen reports that all five episodes of Echo dropped. They were watched for 731 million minutes, which actually makes the Nielsen top 10 for the week. However, those numbers are for all 5 episodes, which only averages out to 146.2 million minutes an episode. If I had to guess, the first couple episodes probably have higher than the average numbers, but since the series falls off a cliff with each episode, the minutes fall off as well. We can also, again, add that Echo was released on both Disney Plus and Hulu, so the numbers are even worse for Disney Plus, as the Nielsen charts measure both Disney Plus and Hulu, as that 146.2 million an episode is shared between both the streaming services. The other MCU shows were only released on Disney Plus. If we compare that average to the first episode of the other Marvel shows on Disney Plus, Echo is a complete disaster. And like once again, nobody's shocked by that, right? I mean, we all knew it was going to be a disaster. It's just not a very interesting show. Now, what it does do, effectively, is once again make Kingpin seem like a cheap loser who can't beat anybody. As soon as they started bringing him back into these MCU projects, the first thing they did, have him get his ass kicked by Hawkeye and Echo. 2 characters, and fake Hawkeye. Not even the real one. It was Kate Bishop. That's what they're doing with their street-level threat that they're trying to build up. Hey, let's just have him get his ass kicked over and over again. Yeah, people will still find him scary. So for a comparison to Miss Marvel, the week Miss Marvel Episode 1 was released on Disney Plus, saw 249 million minutes, according to Nielsen. Secret Invasion, 461 million minutes for the week Episode 1 was released. She-Hulk, the first episode didn't make the Nielsen ratings, but the week Episode 2 is released, saw 390 million minutes, and then Week 3 saw 472 million minutes, slightly better than Echo's average. We can also add that Samba TV numbers also states She-Hulk was watched more than Miss Marvel. Samba TV didn't report Echo's numbers for some reason, again, likely because they were in the gutter. Hawkeye, the first 2 episodes were released in Week 1, which saw 853 million minutes. Moon Knight had 418. Loki, 731. Season 2 of Loki, 446. Falcon and the Winter Soldier had 628. WandaVision, 434. It will also be interesting to see if Echo makes it into the Nielsen charts for the second week of release. More than likely, it won't be in the charts because everybody who wanted to watch it, not a lot, watched it the first week. Yeah, that's a really good point. So we should have those numbers fairly soon, and it's likely not going to be in there because that show, people talked about it for like the first 2 days, and I think that was done intentionally because they wanted people to just forget about this show. So they put it out and then walked away, and then the next week nobody was talking about it. So yeah, this won't be on the charts the following week. And I think that was the point. They wanted to just dump this. They knew it was shit. Honestly, I think it would have been better if they would have just pulled a Warner Brothers and wrote it off for tax purposes and not showed it. Because if anything, in my opinion, this show just does more damage to the brand because it's just another shitty project. Anyway, let me know what you guys think about all this. I'd like to hear from you. Also, if you would, please like, subscribe, share the video. Make sure you're still subscribed. Hit that notification bell. Check out my Rumble and Locals. And I'll see you on the next one. Peace. Make sure to check out my Locals. There's a link in the description. It's a fun community that I'm trying to build over here. If you don't want to support me on YouTube, you can come over here. None of that money goes to YouTube. You also can just come over here for free. But if you are a supporter over here, I do plan on doing an extra live stream once a month and throwing links to the supporters so you can actually come on and have a supporter live stream with me. Also, it's a good place to catch all of my content. You don't have to worry about notifications like YouTube. They'll definitely work over here. So come check out my locals.